Manchester United 3, Fulham 1. United are through to the FA Cup semi-final. Another trip to Wembley awaits. We're going to be facing Brighton in the FA Cup semi-final, hopefully looking to book another trip to Wembley in another final this season. One step closer after that victory against Fulham today. But my goodness me, if you just look on the face of it and you just see Manchester United 3, Fulham 1, you'll think, well, run-of-the-mill, straightforward victory for United. It was anything but that scoreline does not tell, even a fraction of the story of this one, because United, for all intents and purposes, got very, very lucky today. We were very, very poor. And we had spoken about this quite a lot. We mentioned in the preview. I actually said to Flex, I thought it might be 3-1, but it's one of those ones that doesn't tell the entire story, because I did have this concern that if we had played how we have been playing recently, particularly in the first half of matches, then we might be in a bit of trouble against Fulham, because you notice it against Betis on Thursday, where it was sluggish, slow, lethargic, poor on the ball, sloppy, and the team just looked leggy in general. You noticed it last weekend against Southampton at Old Trafford. Again, slow, sloppy, lethargic, tired, just poor, just all around poor. No pattern of play, just again no real pace to the game, no intensity, nothing. That aggressiveness that we've associated with the Ten Hag side this season, we haven't seen. And I did think that if we bring that in against this Fulham side today, we'll be in a real bit of trouble, and we'll have to battle for it. And to be honest, if this is the thing. Red cards and decisions change games, but I don't think Fulham can have anything to complain about today when it comes to the decisions that the referee have made. I've seen that Marco Silva's come out after the game and spoken about, wow, in the first half, we could have had a penalty and VAR this and VAR that. And Lord knows, I've complained enough about VAR this season. They received 3 red cards today, and all 3, they have nothing to complain about at all when it comes to them. Willian, he handles the ball. Now, you could argue the ball might not be going in, but he stops that ball from even, you don't even know. And he moves his arm there. He blocks a goal-scoring opportunity by deliberately using his arm. That's a red card. That's a penalty. Now, when it comes to Marco Silva's red card, look, the referee, when you go to the VAR screen, you're not allowed to talk to them. Players can't talk to them, coaches can't talk to them, managers can't talk to them. If he's staring at the TV and you run over to him and start screaming at him, and ultimately it's trying to influence decision, that's what he's trying to do there, that's a red card offence. So, of course, that's a justifiable red card. And Alexander Mitrovic, look, you can't even get in the referee's face and point at him and scream at him, let alone shove him. You just can't do that. And again, that's a red card. So I felt that they can talk about being hard done by the referee today. But in terms of decisions that have been questionable this season when it comes to United, and I don't even think this is a case of, they balance each other out, because I don't think they were incorrect decisions. I think they were factually correct decisions. And again, I don't think Fulham have anything to complain about. The reason why United won this game is because Fulham imploded. That's the bare facts of it. United didn't play great for 60, 70 minutes. We weren't good. Opening 5 minutes, I noted down, we didn't touch the ball. Fulham were the better side, and it was a slow start again, and there was a chance just before half-time for McTominay, and, Sancho cut it back where he could have taken a shot. And, the only bit of positivity, really, in that first half was Lisandro Martinez, because he was the only person that was really trying to pass the ball forward, break between the lines, take the ball out of defence. You heard the Old Trafford crowd get on to Harry Maguire and other players, and justifiably so, because they were slow, they were poor, they were sloppy on the ball. Even Bruno Fernandes gets 2 goals today, one from the penalty spot, one right at the end of the game with one of the last kicks of the game. But for a lot of the game, he wasn't great either. He was very, very sloppy in the first half. And, part of me says it has to be due to fatigue, because we've noticed it the last couple of weeks. There's been so many games these players have been playing, and they just look mentally and physically completely drained. When you're playing a game every 3 or 4 days for 3 months at this point, since the World Cup, it's been a game every 3 or 4 days. It's been non-stop. The players just look like it's caught up to them. They do, and we've got injuries as well. But I'm not really here for excuses, because there were some players who haven't been on that schedule playing today, and they just weren't at it. And I just felt like the intensity just wasn't there. And even the crowd were trying. I felt like the crowd were trying to, inspire the players, but it just once we went 1-0 down, I thought to myself, I don't know how we're going to come back here, because I'm not seeing where this comeback is really going to come from. And David De Gea, I think, was arguably our man of the match today, because had it not been for David De Gea, I don't think we're in the FA Cup. I mean, we could have been legitimately 4-0 down from David De Gea. I mean, he makes a good save in the first half. Before they score, he makes 2 back-to-backs, quality saves. First is a good save from a header. The next one's even better from Willian. He sort of, you know what he's going to do, and that kind of summed up United in this point of time, is that you knew what Willian was going to do. He's going to cut inside, he's going to try and whip it, but we just showed no energy to try and get out to him. We didn't get out to him. He whips the shot. It's a great save by David De Gea, but we were incredibly slow. And then from the resulting corner, they score, and they deservedly so. They scored because we weren't at it. We just were not there. There was no aggressiveness. There was no intensity. And as soon as they scored, he made some subs, Ten Hag, but McTominay off, Anthony comes on, Rashford went up front, Weghorst came as a 10, Bruno came deeper, and it worked to an extent, but at the same time, we still weren't there. It didn't feel like any change was really going to inspire all that much. As I mentioned, the crowd were getting onto Harry Maguire because he was standing there with the ball at his feet pointing, and the Old Trafford crowd are saying, do something with it, And I understand, sometimes you've got to have runs for you, but Lisandro Martinez, if the run isn't there, he'll just travel with it and see what happens. And Maguire wasn't doing that. And De Gea, as I mentioned, makes another great save, this time from a Mitrovic header, a looping header. He has enough time to get across, but make no mistake, it's a fantastic save, palms it out. And at that point, it really could have been 4-0 to Fulham, and it wouldn't have been against the run of play or anything like that. It would have been entirely deserved. The only thing I agree with Marco Silva about today is that he says that Fulham were the best team on the pitch for the majority of the game, and they were. There's no questioning that. There's no escaping that. But history remembers who wins the games and who won the game, and ultimately United won the game today. Again, as far as the incident that really changes the entirety of the game, I don't think there's any complaints. And if it was the other way round, honestly, and this is what I've been saying about the decisions recently, if it's the other way round, as a United fan, I'd have no complaints. Again, Manchester United do a good bit of play. Sancho rounds the goalkeeper. He's at a bit of a difficult angle. You're thinking, just put it in the net. Hits it towards goal, and Willian, at the time, I thought, he might have handballed that, because you could see he made the movement of his arm like that. Now, the concerning thing would be that the referee didn't see that, but VAR finally does its job, as it should do. Again, it's a clear handball, it's a clear denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, so it's a red card too. There's no complaints about that, and as I said, Marco Silva arguing the referee next to the TV screen, no complaints, you can't do that. Alexander Mitrovic shoves the ref. You can't do that. And Fulham lost the game for themselves, and that was it. And then after that, I think the real positive thing you would say by United is that they were clinical after that, and they were ruthless. Now, you could argue, wow, we are 9 men, but you're celebrating 9 men. I'm not celebrating beating Fulham with 9 men. I'm celebrating us getting into the FA Cup semi-final when we didn't play particularly well, and I think that is a sign of a good team, that they got the job done despite not doing well. And yeah, things went our way today a little bit, not in terms of luck, because again, they were correct decisions. So I don't think that's particularly lucky. I think that's upon Fulham to have a look at themselves and say, we threw that one away. But Bruno, good pen. Again, gets the job done, 1-1. And then pretty much immediately, Sabitzer opens up his account for Manchester United. And it was good play by United. It was a good goal. Great play by Sancho, puts through Shaw. Shaw puts the ball across the box. Sabitzer with a fantastic finish as well. And then Bruno makes it 3-1 at the end. And again, on paper, it looks fairly comfortable, but it was anything but. But the important thing is that we're through. And we got the job done eventually, and that's all that history is going to remember. I think the key thing now for United would be is let's hope that not everyone goes on international duty. Let's hope some players get some needed rest. Let's hope that when we have Newcastle in our next Premier League match, we've got people back. People like, I think, Eriksen. Again, that's probably going to be a bit too soon for him. Rafael Varane, he's needed back. And just let's hope some players get some needed rest. I know, again, they're going to be on international duty, but the intensity maybe isn't going to be the same. Some of them are friendly, some of them are qualifiers. They might not play in every single game. They might play 1 game per week. Some players might have to pull out because they'll say, look, I'm injured or I'm just run down. So that's what United really need, because I think if we play like that against Newcastle, we might be in a bit of trouble, because you just can't. You can't play like that. Particularly, I mean, this was at home, let alone away from home. But we got the job done today, and we're going to Wembley, and Brighton's going to be a challenging one. But ultimately, as I mentioned, history will remember the result, and that's all that matters today. So back to Wembley. Wembley, got the job done, and here's hoping we get a rest over the international break.